so much. Thank you so much. That helped. I was told recently that I look like a drug dealer who only sells melatonin. And I'm trying to embrace it, so see me outside if you're trying to get sleepy tonight. I got regular and organic. Dramamine for you, sir. A little Tylenol PM on top. I bought a tooth recently. Bought like a human tooth. Yeah. It was under my daughter's pillow, and I was like, nobody else is gonna buy this. She made it herself, you know. Like, I don't know. How did we get suckered into buying kids' teeth? I don't know what to do with them is the problem, you know. Like other dads just throw them away. I'm like, for what I paid for it? Never. Like that is not financially responsible. I'd feel better about it if I actually felt like a fairy during it, you know? Like, that sounds nice, tooth fairy. I feel more like a tooth goblin, you know, just like creeping into my kid's bedroom. Yeah, bring out your mouth bones, bring them out. I have these shiny coins for you. Yes, I have to do the voice. Go back to sleep. It's weird. I do have kids. I have a lot of friends who don't have kids. They always ask me, you know, like, what's the hardest part about having kids? For me, it's definitely nap time, you know. Because, like, it is impossible to get those monsters to let me nap, you know. It's a nightmare. My friends are like, just lock the door. I'm like, that works until they get thirsty and they have to let them back inside, you know. They're like, it's hot, we live in Phoenix. I don't know. I love my kids. You know, I just want them to be happy and healthy and not that smart, you know. Like, because I was a smart kid and it did not go well for me, you know. Like, I was the kid in school who always had a love for math, you know. I think it's because the first time I saw boobs, it was on a calculator. If you remember that day, yeah, we flip it. I'm like taking the test, I'm like 80,085. Hello there. My friend's like, what'd you get for number 13? I'm like, I got an erection, so I don't... Don't copy off my paper, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. I was a weird kid. I was like complete opposite of my dad. You know, like my dad was like a huge jock. Like in his house right now, my dad has the crown from when he was homecoming king. Yeah. And in my house, I have the crown from Return of the King, which is like a great movie, you know. I don't know which is more embarrassing, honestly. My dad, he loved football. He convinced me to play football for 1 year. And I feel like I learned a lot playing football, you know. Because, like, I wasn't the fastest one out there, you know. I wasn't the strongest. I wasn't even the smartest. So I learned those three things. Like, I didn't enjoy football until I realized you could put fantasy in front of it. You know? I was like, fantasy football? Are there goblins involved? A wizard, perhaps? You know? Oh, it's mostly just looking at like spreadsheets and statistics. Now I'm more interested. You know? I love fantasy football. It's a great way to lose a lot of money to your coworkers. You know? And I've lost a lot. I'm broke. I am broke. You know, I'm so broke. The other day I ordered a pair of Toms and they sent me both pairs. which I don't think has ever happened before. They're like, those kids in Africa are fine. We saw your checking account, you know. Yeah, Tom's will send a pair of shoes to a child in need. No, it's good. It's good. It's a good organization we should all support. I don't know, like I had to cancel my Hulu Plus subscription. Yeah. I can only afford Hulu Minus, which is just the commercials. You know, it's like it's a nightmare to get your friends to come over to watch a season finale of Prilosec OTC. Yeah. I'm like, I think this is the one they finally defeat heartburn. You know, they're all smiling at the end. They read, yeah. I don't know. I'm glad we're doing this. You know, I'm glad. You know, I know COVID's still kind of lingering. You know, which kind of pisses me off, honestly, because like I feel like I did my part at the beginning. You know, because like this is true. I volunteered for a COVID vaccine trial. Yeah. And they didn't give me like a Pfizer or Moderna, you know. They gave me one called placebo, which is, I mean, if you can get it, I recommend it. You know. Just no side effects, none. You know. I got COVID 3 times with no side effects at all. I wanted to be a firefighter when I was younger, you know. So I joined the cross country team. In every race, I would run with a cigarette in my mouth. Because I'm like, if I'm running into a burning building, I'm gonna enjoy it. You know? I set a record. You know, I had an 8-mile pace and a pack of Marlboro Lights. Like, it was good. I grew up religious. You know, just a little bit about me. I grew up religious. I hear the hymns. Oh no. No, I did. I grew up. I don't know. I'm not really religious anymore. You know, I got to the point where I felt like I was praying and talking to God a lot. I didn't hear anything back, and I'm just like, I'm done being Holy Ghosted. You know, I met my wife when we were religious. Though we were fundamentalist Baptists, which went pretty well because like when you're both fundamentalists, you have so much in common. Yeah. Like our first date was to a book burning. It was so romantic, you know. Like both of our hands reached for the same copy of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Toss it in there. We were like, I don't know, the night was just so, I would use the word magical if that word wasn't so satanic. You know, it was good, it was good. I don't know. I'm not really religious anymore, but I am superstitious. You know, like I won't even order a Bloody Mary 3 times. No, thank you. It's worse if the waiter doesn't hear me. You know, I'm just like, excuse me, Bloody Mary, a Bloody Mary. I'll have a margarita. Like even doing that joke is too much, you know. I'm gonna avoid mirrors for a week. You know. Yeah, I saw an ad recently for guilt-free cereal, which I have not felt guilty about cereal ever. I don't think. I don't know until I saw the ad, and then I'm like, well, I gotta have the guilt-free cereal. It turns out it doesn't have any less like calories or anything. They just use ethically sourced Lucky Charms. Yeah. Apparently those horseshoes have just decimated the marshmallow unicorn population. You never see those anymore. I just wanted to get, a box of Kicks that wasn't tested on kids. Yeah. I don't know why we let that go on for so long. I don't know what mothers would approve that, yeah. I quit the gym recently because I read that if you love something, you should let it go. And I love my body, so I'm letting it go. I don't know what to say during sex. Like, just throwing that out there. I don't. I feel like some people know what to say, and some people do not. I do not. I can only just make sounds that you hear in rap songs. I'm just like, skid it. She's like, what does that mean? You're gonna come, or what is that? I'm like, DJ Khaled, just gibberish. Just nonsense words, I always grew up hearing that Mexicans are lazy. Yeah. And then I grew up and I realized I'm the only one. I'm the only lazy Mexican. It's hard for me, because Saturdays I'll sleep in till noon. My neighbor's been cutting his lawn since 4. I'm like, you're in 3rd grade. You should not be... You should be playing, man. You don't gotta work so hard. It's okay. Yeah. I should have known better, though, because my grandpa was one of the hardest working men ever. He had 2 jobs, he had 2 families, across 2 state lines. He worked hard to cheat on my grandma. Yeah, he really did. He really did. He was the hardest working man I never met, It was weird when he passed away. He passed away recently, and I don't know. I had to do a lot of soul searching when he died. Oh, that's not the right word. Ghost hunting. I did a lot of ghost hunting. He did not want to cross over. He's like, I crossed the border once. I'm not doing that again. Yeah. I love Mexico, though. I just came back from Mexico recently. I went to a place called Rocky Point, Mexico. Some of you have been. Rocky Point's fun because it's like the slightly more successful cousin of Tijuana. Where Tijuana's mom's like, oh, why can't you get your shit together? Be like your cousin, Rocky Point. It's like, shut up, Mom. They just put in a windmill. They're doing good, mijo. Renewable resources. He's like, I don't need that. I got hookers. And the birthplace of the Caesar salad. That's all. That's all Tijuana needs. No, Mexico's great. Mexico's great. You get anything in Mexico. When I was there the last time, I got a pair of white Gucci flip-flops. They're pretty snazzy. Yeah. I got them on the beach, too. Yeah. The guy laying next to me was a deep sleeper. And a slow runner, that guy. I've been seeing a lot of self-driving cars recently. I feel like Uber is going to be on top of that quick, which bums me out because I will never order a self-driving Uber, ever. Because if I'm in an Uber and our car gets cut off, I want the driver to cuss him out, I need that. Don't let him do that to us, For this brief 10-minute ride, this Ford Focus belongs to both of us. And the robot doesn't care. The robot's just like, oh, it appears you are cutting me off. You have just cut me off. Decelerating, applying brakes. Thank you for sharing the road with Carlexa. You know. Like, you pushover. Like, at least let me control, like, the aggression level of the robot, you know? I had set mine to, like, guy who's been driving cabs in Brooklyn for 30 years, you know? He's like, hey, what the fuck you doing? Where the fuck you learn to drive, dumbass? I'm like, 5 stars, robot. Guy in front doesn't realize what's going on. He's like, oh, you're so tough when you step out of the car. Buddy, I am the car. Suck my lug nuts. Thank you for sharing the road with Carlexa. All right, you guys, I've had a blast. I'm Jacob Cano.
I'm so happy to be here. Tonight is a great night for me to check on my status. I am learning how to be a hot girl. So I don't know if you've noticed, I got a crop top. Yeah. Crop top till I drop, am I right? Belly out for the clout? What? Oh man. Yeah, I'm learning how to be a hot girl. I don't know when you get promoted from regular girl to hot girl. But I've been taking BuzzFeed quizzes every day. Just trying to figure it out. I'm a pepperoni pizza. I don't know. Don't know what that means. My friends are hot girls. My friends will complain about getting catcalled. Right? They're like, they come up to me and they're like, men are disgusting. Yeah. Yeah, I bet they are. Yeah, I hope one day they will be. Yeah? I'll get there. Yeah, and it's cool. Like, I get it. Like, I know I'm not a hot girl yet, okay? Because I have too many, like, weird habits to, like, be part of the club. Like, for example, no matter where I find a bobby pin, that baby goes directly in my mouth. Just listen, okay, I don't care, like lint, dust, COVID, I don't care who you were friends with before, okay? All that I care about now is I'm trying to tame these curls. I'm trying to keep them in place. All right, here's the trick. You just gotta give it enough time for it to forget where it's been. All right. Otherwise, you end up in this situation where you're trying to, and you're Trader Joe's? The post office? Can't have it. I have taken the next step in my life. Since I'm not a hot girl, I've decided, let's adopt a cat. So I got a brand new cat, straight out of the package. She's great. And I have to say, like, this is the first time I've ever owned a pet. And I get it. Like, all you cat dads and you dog moms and you fish cousins. Man, I love this cat. I love this cat more than I could ever love any human baby. Yeah. Like, you can't name a baby Tuna. All right? Yeah, I've checked. But, first cat, first vet visit, and it was tough. You guys, I went there, and it was like there was fear and, like, anxiety and, like, cowering, and, like, I think Tuna also had trouble. It was tough. But I went there, and it was so weird, because the vet came in, and she was like, I read in her chart she's aggressive. Aggressive? I'm sorry, this cat? This cat chilling in the corner. This little lump of joy that looks like, not only does she have a stash of catnip, but like she is growing with the intent to sell. But the vet's like, no, she's aggressive. I read it in her chart. And I'm like, whoa, no. No, I've had an aggressive cat, okay? I've fostered cats before this. And I had a kitten. And let me tell you, kittens, man. Kittens have taught me I will shake a baby. Yeah. Man. But the vet's like, no, she's aggressive. She swats at people. We read it. And I'm like, whoa. Are you a cop interacting with any brown person right now? Like I feel like my cat just got profiled as like a black man in a hoodie. And I'm like, whoa. Like there are like four vets just holding down all her paws. Like that's too many people. She's 10 pounds. That's too many people. I feel like I'm gonna see those vets just on a paid vacation while they do an investigation. They're like, I don't know, she could have had 4 kitty guns as paws. We're not sure. All right, let's get serious. Let's get serious now. There's a lot going on in the world, you know? There's war, there's unrest, there's probably other things going on. But like we're losing sight of the real issue here. And they haven't cleaned the Statue of Liberty in like years. Like that is not how you handle a present. Now we're just trying to like Mandela effect, convince everyone that that's how it was to begin with. The French are like, why does our copper statue look like that? Oh, it came that way. Yeah. The one in Vegas is green. I don't know. UPS, am I right? I've turned 26 recently. Yeah. Just trying to get those claps. Yeah, I recently had a birthday, and I got kicked off my parents' insurance. Yeah. Tough age, yeah. I gotta say though, I did live it up. All right, I need you guys to know I was risky. I took my time. All right, I was rollerblading. I was skateboarding. You guys, I was calling out white people. Let me tell you, there's nothing better than being a lightly toasted brown person calling out white people. Like, they look at you, they're like, I thought you were on our team. Like, I'm undercover, bitch. It's great, because they come up to me and they do their like shenanigans, we'll call it. And I'm like, excuse me. I am a proud half-black woman. I deserve half the respect here. I am. I'm half black. You probably didn't know. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm very proud to be a black woman. I love it. You should try it if you can. It's fantastic. But it makes me appreciate like these big like inclusion messages that all these companies sort of send out. But I will say sometimes they go like a bit too far. The other day I walked past a sign. It said, different flavors, but never divided. Thank you. Yeah. I've never felt so safe in this Cold Stone. Finally, a place for people like me. Yeah, but they had to know that like you couldn't like if a human being looked me in the eyes and said that to me, like I get to demand reparations on the spot, right? Like, oh, I'll take a gotta have it with the waffle cone. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. My name is Kim Kiernan. I'm so happy to be here.